Hi everyone, it's Miss Gurney and I'm going to teach you how to do 2-point perspective drawings to help you draw crates for designing your products, and to also help you draw cubes but not using isometric, which some of you I know do struggle with. So for this you are going to need a sharp pencil. It doesn't matter whether it's a sketching pencil or not, and you're going to need a ruler. It doesn't matter whether it's a long ruler or a short ruler, either will do. Okay, so what I did there whilst I paused the video is I drew a faint line. I didn't press on too hard, and I drew 2 little X's at either side to illustrate my vanishing points. These are really important because this is where all your lines are going to line up to when you start drawing your cubes. I'm going to start by looking at this line. This is my horizon line, and what I need to do first is draw 3 straight lines like so down the centre. It doesn't have to be exactly centre. I could draw them over here, or I could draw them over here, but I'm going to start by drawing 3 really faint lines of no particular size. I'm just going to do some random ones. Okay, move my ruler down slightly, just to have 3 randomly straight lines, but they are all in a straight line, so if you connected them they would just be one solid line. Okay, what I've done here as well is I've made sure that these lines are drawn a little bit harder, so I've pressed on a little bit more with my pencil. The first thing I'm going to do is connect the bottom of my lines to the left vanishing point. So I'm just going to take my ruler here and I'm just going to very faintly connect these 3 bottom points to the first vanishing point, like so. And it's really important they all go to the right point and that you keep these connecting lines completely faint. I'm now going to do the same to the bottom side, and I'm going to connect my vanishing point faintly here and faintly so here, and faintly so there. Okay, again, I don't want to press on too hard because I want to be able to rub these out. Nudged my tripod there a little bit. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to connect the top point to the first vanishing point. Okay, so get my ruler at quite the right angle. Like so. And there you go. And I'm going to do the same here. I keep hitting my finger there, but I'm correcting it as I go, so that's fine. And then I'm going to do the same over here too. It's a little bit fiddly. Okay, so now that is all my main points lined up. So I'm now going to start drawing my edges on. Okay, now for this bit, the best way to do this is to draw your edges pretty much the same, so you can see how this would actually line up. It doesn't really matter, you could do them all in different sections, but the choice is yours. I'm going to aim for probably about a ruler's width. I think is a good way of showing you how to draw these. And I'm just going to connect the top and bottom vanishing point line like so, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. Like that. Okay, so you should now clearly have some side lines too. At this point, if you want to make these 3 straight lines a little bit more visible and you maybe want to put fine liner on them to help you see them, you can do. I'd avoid doing that in case you make any mistakes, however. You then need to get, I'm going to use a slightly longer ruler now just to help me, and then I'm going to connect this top line, not over here, but it's going to go over to the left. So it's going to go from here over to my left vanishing point. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same again with this point, but not going to the left. This one is going to go over to the right. So my ruler keeps moving, get it nice and solid, and then I'm going to do the same with this point here to the left point, and then I'm going to do the same again with this point, and I'm going to bring it over here to that point. Alright, and now you can see I'm sort of getting some solid shapes for these. Now these lines here, you don't connect to the vanishing points because you're looking at them straight on, as this faint line you can see going across is your horizon line. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a fine liner and I'm going to start outlining my cubes. Okay, now normally I would advise that you use a fine liner like one of these Staedtler ones that has quite a small tip, like so, just to give you some really precise detail. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to use one of these so that you can really see the lines that I'm drawing. I'm going to just go over it really carefully using my ruler again. I don't want to be doing this freehand because I'm likely going to mess it up. And when I'm moving my ruler across, I need to be really careful that I've given it a few seconds for my ink to bleed into the page so that it doesn't smudge when I move the ruler. Okay, you can sort of see the lines that are appearing on the page now. So it's starting to make a bit more sense. And there you go. You can actually see, probably better on the video than you can than I can see on my sheet of paper. You can clearly see that there are three very defined three-dimensional cubes there. What you can now do, now you know how to create your shapes, is you can actually make a long rectangle and you can actually shape your product idea within that using your 2-point perspective, and it's actually easier to draw in 3D using this method. You can then decide where your light source is coming from. Okay, say your light source was coming from this direction. This would be the dark side. So maybe you would take your pencil crayons or maybe your marker pens, depending on how skilled you are, to do this as the dark edge. Okay, and I would fully advise that you rub out your pencil lines once you finish this bit. I'm not doing just for speed. So maybe you do this as the dark side. Okay, and then maybe this is going to be your light side, so maybe you'd use a different shade of orange, or maybe you'd layer your marker pens to give a clearer defined shape. I don't actually have a different colour, I'm just having a quick look through my pen pots, but what you could do is easily just do a different colour on one side, just to show each of the shapes. I wouldn't advise colouring in with a highlighter, again just for speed. It's really messy and you can actually ruin your highlighters, but there you go. that is a really quick way of doing your perspective cubes, which also can lead to then creating your shapes and making your drawings work much better.